Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Shadowbringers. In the last episode, we rescued the guy who washed up on the beach, and as it turns out, that this individual was an artist who was serving one of the wealthy couples of Eorzea, and they became displeased with the art that he was producing and essentially fired him. And then, since he was now in the city with no patron to, basically keep him employed, he ended up getting dragged before the ruler of the city, Lord Vothri, who asked him what he wanted to do, and he basically asked to leave, and they obliged him by literally throwing him off the city down into the surf below, which he miraculously managed to survive, and then wash up on the shore here, where we found him. Well, that's unfortunate for the individual in question. It did actually provide us with an opportunity, because we had given up the one plan to, trade for pearls, but given that this wealthy couple in Eorzea just got rid of their artist, they're going to be in the market for a new one. And so, since Alphino does possess some skills in that regard, we can present ourselves as artists in order to gain entry into the city. That's the plan. So, after going through all of that, we then worked on side quests in Wright, which I think is the name of this town, right? Yeah, Wright. Got most of them done. We still do have one series of side quests to do. Village of Woe here is the start. So we're going to go ahead, work on that, get that done, and then proceed on with the main story quest and hopefully gain entry to Eorzea. Alright, so we need to go ahead and slay any monsters that threatened Eulys. She's looking for an escort. And it does appear to be some monster threatening her, so let's go ahead and make it dead. This is a tough little bugger. Alright, there we go. Let's help her up. What did I tell you? I was barely 10 steps out of the village. Come, let us hurry along before more predators have a chance to gather. Alright, so now I just need to speak to her over here. Thank you for the escort, Ayame. This is the gentleman I wished to speak with, so we needn't go any further. Siluk. Are you wandering around by yourself out here? You know what kind of creatures lurk beyond the borders of the village. Well, if it isn't, Cliff Toll's little girl. Something I can do for you, lass? Yes, sir. I came for an answer to my proposal from the other day. Have you given any thought to taking over as village mayor? I am doing the best I can in the interim, but I have neither the age nor the wisdom to continue in the role, and the rest of the villagers agree with me. I'm fairly sure I told you nay once already. But seeing as you found a guard just so you could come and talk to me, then mayhap I will consider the idea in exchange for a few small tasks. You will? Please, just tell me what I need to do. My friend, Cliftal, your dear father, was looking for a sickle to cut some rope. Would you mind skipping back to the village and borrowing one for me? Why would you... I mean, sickle, was it? For cutting rope? That shouldn't be too difficult. I'd only meant to ask you along for the one trip, but if I'm to complete these tasks, would you be willing to indulge me a while longer? Sure. Okay. Something going on there. Alright, she should be over here. There she is. Good day to you, young Ulysses. You look a little flustered, dear. Was there something I could help you with? And a good day to you, madam. I was actually hoping to borrow a sickle. Is that all? Here, you can take this one. I have several spares, so there's no rush in returning it. Doing a spot of harvesting, are you? My thanks, but it's not for me, exactly. I was asked to bring one for my father. Your father? Shadow, save me. Forgive me. If you're to accompany me in these tasks, then you deserve to know the whole story. It was my father, Cliftal, who was the former mayor of Wright. And the incident I spoke of earlier was something that happened a year ago. One day, a stray sin-eater came prowling around and slaughtered nearly half the village. It was a waking nightmare. Some of the villagers blamed my father. They said it was because he refused to accept the protection of Yulmore. The sheer scale of the tragedy and the accusations that followed wore away at his conscience, until finally he could bear the guilt no longer. He hanged himself. Luke, the old man we spoke to, was his closest friend, but considering how he worded his request, it seems he's reluctant to accept the fact of my father's death. Still, I would see this task to its end. Let us bring him his sickle, shall we? So, the sickle to cut rope was for that purpose? I'm guessing? Yee. Alright, well, let's go ahead and turn this in. Luke, sir, we've brought the sickle you asked for. Oh, good, good. Old Clifton will be glad to see this. Oh, sir. Thank you for staying with me, Ayame. This might be hotter than I expected. Alright, but I got the Aether Current. So we'll go ahead, we're going to run through these quests here. Alright, the next task. Alright, I'm grateful to have you with me, Ayame. Thank you again. Luke, sir, I believe you had more tasks for me? Still here, are you? Yes, tasks. There's a Talos of mine that's taking far too long to make its return. Probably busy tussling with some dim-witted predator. Go and see how it fares, and chase off anything slowing it down. But all the... Ah, you mean that, Talos? Pray follow my lead, Ayame. We'll find the Talos in question to the southwest of here, and I've no doubt there will be dim-witted predators aplenty for you to deal with. My specialty. I'm guessing this is the... Yep, this is the derelict Talos. Alright, some squirrels. I wouldn't exactly consider squirrels predators. But, well, they need to be dealt with, we'll deal with them. Alright, there we are. Because we're going to get the story of this Talos. Phew, I'm glad you were here. They must have burrowed in beneath the plates. I know Siluk implied the Talos was still moving, but as you can see... Once upon a time, there'd be a line of these contraptions hauling materials down to the shipyard, step by ponderous step, which incidentally is how the slow road supposedly earned its name. But after Daedalus Stoneworks closed down some 15 summers ago, there was no one left to make or maintain their creations. One by one, the Talos slowly fell into disrepair. This particular worker was damaged during that Stray Eater rampage, and it hasn't shifted an ilm ever since. It was always Siluk's favorite. Come, let us make our report. Alright, well, let them know we dealt with the squirrels. Alright. Alright, Siluk, sir. Ayame has cleared away the pests who are bothering your Talos. It should be left alone for the time being. Ah, excellent news. But I expect he'll need a good polishing when he returns. The most troublesome ones are often the most endearing, eh? Oh, sir. You've done me a fine service, thank you. Right, indeed, thank you, Ayame. I never could have fought such creatures myself. If I might impose upon you for the next task as well? Sure. What's up? Thank you again for staying. I honestly could not do this without you. Right, Siluk, sir, were there any more tasks you had for us? Just one last thing. I want you to gather some pretty flowers from the split hall as a gift for my darling wife. She went out for her usual walk, but has not yet deigned to come home. I fear I may have said something to sour her mood. I understand. We shall gather a lovely bouquet for her then. Well, Yummy, will you accompany me to the Cape for some flower picking? I'm guessing there's a story behind this guy's wife as well, probably relating to the same Sin Eater attack. I'm guessing that she's probably no longer with us. As that seems to be the theme here. Alright, well, we'll go grab some flowers. Oh. No. I thought there was going to be an easy way to get up from there. Okay. Well, there's Euless. Alright, this is almost pleasant, isn't it? Aside from the aggressive wildlife, of course. I should tell you about Luke's wife. She was killed in the Eater incident, though I imagine you already suspected as much. I did. They made such a sweet couple. Every day they would walk up this cape, hand in hand, and she would gaze out over the flowers with this warm, contented smile. Luke himself has some training as a warrior. He would guard her as if she were a princess, and he her gallant knight. I'm sorry, it's just... wounds of the heart are slow to mend, indeed. That they are, and simply having someone there to share the grief can be enough to carry us through another day. It has been but a year, but we are all still suffering. Some seek to bury the misery beneath cheery faces, and others are yet trapped in the memories of the past. Luke, I fear, is one of the latter. But if a bouquet of flowers is what it takes to help him work through his sadness, then I'll pick every bloom from this cape. Will you give me a hand to find some of the prettier flowers? Pray think of it as a tribute to the deceased. Alright. Let's see if we can avoid as much combat as we can. We may have to do some fighting, though. Well, there's going to be one right where we're going to want to be. Well, nope, it's flying off. And one last one. There we are. Alright, let's see what we have. Yes, these are beautiful, thank you. Luke will be pleased. Let's take them back to Stonegazer before they get crushed in some scuffle. Alright then, back to... I'm tempted to teleport, but... I mean, it's not that far of a ride, I don't think. That is a big cliff face. Wood eyes. Okay. Alright, let's give him these flowers. You made it, and the flowers are none the worse for wear. Luke, Ayame and I have returned with the bouquet for your wife. Ah, splendid, thank you. Now perhaps she will come back to... Sir. You must forgive me, I have asked such cruel things of you. And I must apologize to you as well, Ayame. My beloved wife, my dear neighbors, so many gone. After it happened, despair became my only company. I could not even save my closest friend when his torment was plain for all to see. I could never forgive myself. So I embraced this delusion, thinking that maybe if I tried hard enough, if I truly believed they were still alive, that the events of that day would fade away like the nightmare it was. But I succeeded only in hurting those around me. I understand why you did what you did, sir. Truly, I do. You always were such a sweet child. I will place the flowers you brought on her grave. She would have loved them. As for me assuming the role of mayor, I am sorry, but I cannot give you a decision just yet. It'll take as long as you need. In fact, I might need a little time to recover myself. Yami, if you could give me a moment or two. Alright. Well, looks like there's another stage to this. Alright, let's grab it. Euless awaits a decision from Luke. Alright. Thank you for your patience, Ayame. Luke still appears to be wrestling with his thoughts, but perhaps we can help him come to a decision. Sir, I don't mean to press you, but might you have arrived at an answer to my proposal? Not exactly, no. There's another matter I have yet to reconcile. Would you mind sharing this matter with us? Well, it goes back to the day that the Eater attacked the village. I was taking my turn as lookout here at Stonegazer. It's a duty we take very seriously. They say when the tower was originally built in the time before the flood, they were worried about dwarves and mountain bandits, but these days... Yes, there's far worse prowling around, and I failed to spot it. The Sin Eater which came that day did not appear as the other monstrosities I have seen. From a distance, it simply looked like a person. I wanted to be sure before I rang the warning bell, but I waited too long. Many who could have fled died because of my hesitation. How can a man of such faulty judgment ever serve you as mayor? What comfort can I offer those whose loved ones were needlessly slain? None. Not whilst the abomination itself yet roams free to kill again. You would take vengeance on our behalf? That is good, for we were powerless before its might. Should the Eater show its cursed face again, then I pray you are as strong as you appear. I know nothing of the roads you have walked or the battles you have fought, but so I can but echo what Luke has said. Our prayers would be for your victory. Well, sir, you heard Ayame's words. Talk of vengeance aside, I do not believe the villagers, either living or dead, hold you responsible for the actions of that monster. And yet I cannot fault you for wanting to remain distant. Pray forgive me for pestering you so. Nay, 'tis I who should beg forgiveness, though you've lost as much as anyone. I left you to shoulder the burden of leadership alone. All will be well with you back among us again. Come, let us return to the village. As I've said, it's unsafe to linger out here for long. Yame, one last escort back to Wright, if you would. Alright. So I guess that Eater is still kicking around somewhere. So it's probably a good idea to go destroy it. Alright, my thanks for your protection, Yami, not to mention your unfailing patience. It is my hope that now Siluke has unburdened his mind to us, his heart will be that tiniest bit lighter. I, for one, feel ready to face another day. After all, I have my friends and neighbors here to help me face it. There was one last thing I wanted to show both you and Siluke. It has to do with Wright's traditional industry. If you're interested in taking a look... Oh, good. I was worried you'd had enough of me. My last errand for you, then, will be to have a word with Siluke and bring him to the barley fields at the front of the village. I'll be there tending to the crops until you arrive. Yes, that's the brewing industry that they apparently had at one point here. Alright, Yami, I'm grateful for your understanding and the flowers you brought. My wife would have very much approved of the selection. Now, was there something you wish to discuss with me? And Euless wants me there as well, does she? We had best head over to the fields, then. Alright. This is what I wanted to show you. This barley crop right here. This was your father's plot, wasn't it? And you've been tending to it in his absence? Every single day, and wanted to see his plans come true. His plans? Yes, he dreamed of restoring things to how the history books said they once were, before the flood ruined everything. Our village has long been known as a place of artisans. Even the name Wright is a nod to all the craftsmen that once made their home here. In years gone by, it said a line of talus would stretch down the road, arms bearing lumber, and the shipyard would echo with the calls of shipwrights hard at work. And when the day was done, they would gather here to share an ale in the village. My father, he'd hoped to brew that traditional Wright ale with the barley from this crop. To one day tap a barrel with his family and dear friends and raise a toast to the future. Siluke, Ayame, will you raise a mug with me when that day comes? Of course I will. But my dear girl, the land here does not nourish the crops as it once did. I fear it will be some time ere you'll have barley fit for the ale you have in mind. In the meantime, will you help me with the rest of Cliff Dole's plans? The rest? He wanted things the way they once were, did he not? Then we must first recover from the tragedy which was visited upon us. There is no simple solution, but I mean to do what I can to lead our community out of this mire of pain and grief. Assuming you are willing to have me as mayor. Yes, of course, sir. Thank you. Alright, I was set to live out the rest of my life in denial, but you and Euless have opened the eyes of this old fool to what needs to be done. And for that, you have my thanks. Good. Now, I'd best get to work. I have folk to talk to and plans to make. When you're finished here, Euless, I should appreciate your assistance. Alright then. So they are planning on trying to get the ale industry back up and running. But looks like they got some work to do. Alright. Well, Yami, I think this is where we finally part ways. Thank you again for all you have done for us. The people of Wright will go on, even under the weight of our sorrow. It might not happen this day or the next, but together we'll find ways to make things better, to recapture the prosperity this village once had. I look forward to when you next visit. With any luck, I'll be waiting to put a frothing mug of Wright brewed ale in your hand. Alright. What do I want here? Direct hit, wait, Vit. Or do I take the silver pieces? I guess I'll take the grilled rail. Alright, so there we go. That whole quest line's done. So I guess we aren't going to be going to hunt down that particular Sin Eater. At least not yet, anyway. Alright, so back over to Gate Town. We need to meet back up with Elfino and see if we can pose as the artists and get ourselves into the actual city of Yulmore proper. Finally. Alright, here we are. And we're waiting for those jesters to show back up. Looking for an artist, or replace the one they pitched out of town. Here they come. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention once more. What a day it's been for the folks at our door. We welcome the peddler who made pearls from a plum, and now we've a place for a painter of a plum. So come along and don't be slow. It's time to let your colors show. I can paint, portraits at least. Landscapes and still lifes are so rarely commissioned these days. Oh, I thought I spied some new faces in the crowd. What fortune that you should feel at ease around an easel. What proof have you of your prowess? Any masterpieces on your person? Sadly not. Everything I paint is soon sold, such is the life of a working artist. I have only my brush to testify for me, though you will note that it has seen no small amount of service. Aha, ho-ho, Flexa paint, both old and new, a tool much loved and much used. Not a prop to be conjured on the hop. Very well, come with us, and we'll put those talents to the test. And who is this hanger-on? Well-wisher or parasite? Why, this is my assistant, she whose unfailing support allows my art to flourish. I will go with her or not at all. Parasite, then. Oh, really? Well, we shall leave her fate in the hands of your new employer. It matters not a whit to us. And having filled our latest vacant space, we retire to Yulmore's sweet embrace. Oh, mercy me, the meal. We almost took our leave without leaving a loving token. We must empty the sacks ere we make our way back.
Redemption is beyond us. The lament of all but saints and fools, and the comfort of the lords and ladies of this accursed place. Once they held fast against the madness, only to embrace the coming cataclysm and delight in the end of days. Perhaps in rapture they seek to lose themselves and the misery they share. Or perhaps for them alone, the promise of eternal pleasure really does hold true.
Alright, well, we're not quite in the city yet. You did get some scenes there of things going on inside. Alright, let's talk to the red one. Welcome, welcome to the City of Final Pleasures. Feel free to weep at its magnificence. No, not even a single tear? Moving right along then. Our first task is to register you as residents. You know, make it all nice and official. We'll smooth the way, so you just need to put on your happy faces and head through the joyous hall. The Bureau of Immigration is the first room on the left side of the passage. Declare your name and occupation in a nice loud voice. The clerks will tell you where to go from there. Oh, and pay no mind to those folk off to the side of the road. Much like the hopefuls in Gate Town, they haven't earned the right to enter the city proper. If, however, you enjoy basking in the envy of your fellow man, then by all means take your time. But why waste another moment? Go, enjoy the beginning of your new life in paradise. The Bureau of Immigration, was it? I suppose we had better show ourselves willing for the time being. Alright. We'll be exploring this area around the outside of the city a bit later. There are some Aethernet shards there. They will need to be attuned to. But for now, we'll just proceed into the city, go through immigration, and then see what we're going to get up to. Alright, first door on the left, they said. Yep. Immigration officer. I can't imagine they're too busy. Welcome to Yulmore, fortunate friends. May I have your names? I am Alphino, an artist, and this is Ayame, my assistant. Ah, yes, I was informed of your imminent arrival. We can forego the usual interview and begin processing your registration papers forthwith. Now, the citizens of Yulmore are divided into two classes. There are the free, who are blessed with the favor of Lord Vothry, and the bonded, who work in the employ of the free. You will be joining the ranks of the bonded. Your duties are to serve a patron in the capacity for which you were chosen, in your case, painting pretty pictures. Should your patron dismiss you for any reason, you must find another sponsor among the free, or accept work as a general laborer. I see. And might you tell us something of the patron we are to serve? The two patrons, actually. Chai Nuz and Dulia Chai, a Mistel couple who most refer to as the Chais. They are both gentle souls, but I would ask that you conduct yourself with respect and humility, for your own sake as much as theirs. Now, a moment please while I complete the relevant paperwork. All in order. These are your registration documents. Take those papers next door and submit them to the clerk. Once they've been stamped, you will officially be Yulmoran citizens. Enjoy your new life in paradise. Alright, present our registration papers to the registration officer. Alright then. Welcome to the Bureau of Registration. Papers, please. There they are. What have we here? Alphino, artist. Ayame, artist assistant. To be employed in the service of Lord Chai Nuz and Lady Dulia Chai. Yes, everything seems to be in order. Your registration is hereby approved. I think it best that we deliver you to the Chai residence before... Oh dear. You smell hideous! Oh. Really? Did you crawl here through a ditch? It's like an unholy miasma of dust and sweat and the musk of some unwashed beast. Well, there's probably some blood of some unwashed beast as well. Proceed directly to the delousery next door and scrub yourselves clean. Use whichever showers are free. After you've rinsed away that stench, you'll want to splash yourselves with this perfume liberally. Once you've made yourself presentable, then you may proceed to the Chai residence. Corien, the guard by the stairs, will give you directions. I hadn't realized we were so aromatic. I mean, I really don't know when the last time our character washed was. Alright, well, I guess here's the showers. Delouser. Alright. You rinse yourself clean in the stream of water. Alright then. Now I need to apply the sweet smelling perfume. You apply the perfume as directed, and the delicate scent of roses fills the air. Alright, your turn, Alphino. Oh, you've showered and dressed already, have you? Is it not? That is to say, it seems rather exposed for one's ablutions, does it not? I'll hurry up and shower, Stinky. Fine. Just a quick rinse, then. Well, that was bracing. I believe the lingering smells of the road have been successfully expunged. Shall we go and present ourselves to our new patrons, then? Alright, now that we are officially through immigration, we now need to go... actually, we need to speak with Corien, or Cornine. Cornen? Something like that. Right, you're looking to present yourselves to the Chais, are you? Let me explain how the city's laid out, then. Imagine 3 layers, one on top of the other. This layer here is called the buttress. Above us is the understory, where the military has its headquarters, and above that you've got the canopy, which is where the free citizens of Yulmore spend their days. So if you want to find your new patrons, you'll need to keep climbing until you run out of stairs. Then look for the Grand Dame's Parlor. They'll be in there, like as not. Alright then. But I think that this is a good point to stop before we actually start looking for our patron, present ourselves, and then figure out what it is they want us to paint for them. Alright, so we will get into that when we come back. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.